In trying to diagnose it, we went to the scan tool where you can actually control the cooling fan on or off. We can control the high speed on, and the high speed fan does run. When we control the low speed on, the scan tool says that it is being demanded on, but the low speed fan is not running. Of course, the first thing you always do is check your fuses. There is a fuse for the high side and the low side, and they're both good. We want to see if the computer is commanding these fans on. So we've got a low and a high. We're going to the high side. We've unplugged it from the fan. Simple 2-wire. We're on the ground side, so we've got a good ground. We're going to go to the hot side, and now we'll command it on with the scan tool, and you can see that it lights up and shows that we do have power. So the high side is working. It's got a ground, and the computer is commanding it on. And we go to the low side. At the low side, it's the same way. We have a ground. We go to the other wire. We command it on with the scan tool. And there's no response. So if you look at your wiring diagram, the low side, this power comes through the cooling fan dropping resistor, not from the computer. The high side gets it from the computer. The low side goes through a dropping resistor. That's how they get the low speed. So we don't have anything here. We've got to go back to the dropping resistor to see what's going on there. Now the other thing I want to do is actually see if the fans will work. So we're going to power the fans directly. Very easy to do with the power probe. We just put a ground on one side. We'll get a contact there. Give it power, and the fan runs. So the fan, that fan is good. The low fan is good. We'll do the same thing on the high side. We'll go down here. Power it up, and the high side fan runs. After checking the fuses, we go back in the wiring bundle over to this location where I can locate my brown with orange wire. Of course, in trying to diagnose any kind of electrical problem, you need to review your diagram. And on this you'll see that the high side and the low side are both operated by different wires. The low side is operated with the brown with the orange stripe, and we located that right here. You've got the one brown, and if you look at your diagram, there's a splice here where there's two brown with oranges that go into one, and then this one goes to the fan. One is coming from the PCM, the other one's coming from the relay. So we tested at both ends here, and we had nothing. If you look at your electrical diagram, you should see that this brown with orange wire should be receiving power through the cooling fan dropping resistor. So using the power probe, we tested right here, and we had no power or ground. We do have, there's two wires here. One of those wires, we do have a ground when we use the scan tool to energize the cooling fan relay, but not on the other wire. That'll be explained in the wiregram. You'll see that one is the PCM command side, and the other side is the ground supplied through the cooling fan itself. The cooling fan dropping resistor is located in a kind of a difficult spot, hard to see and hard to find. But if you look straight on down here, you can see it. It's located kind of behind the headlight, tucked away, actually screwed down to the frame with a 1 number 8 bolt. But you can see it. And if you come here, you can see back this way where the wiring connector is for it, located right here. And then the wires tuck up underneath the frame.
You're on the right track.
As you follow your wires back, you'll see that the cooling fan dropping resistor is located down here. I'll show you in a minute. But here's your connector for it. Again, look at your diagram. You'll see the black with orange and the brown with orange. The black with orange is hot. That comes from the fuse. Goes through that dropping resistor, into the brown with the orange and then to the fan itself. The cooling fan dropping resistor is located, it's kind of behind the headlight, but it's hard to see and hard to find. But that's it you're looking at. There's a number 8 bolt that holds it down. And the plug-in, when I wiggle it, you can see that we can actually get down here. And get it out. And here it is. You can see the problem with it. A bad cooling fan dropping resistor. This is kind of hard to find, so we'll show you where it's at in relation to the vehicle, so we'll pan back with the camera. It's kind of located in a tough spot. It's back down below the headlight. It's really kind of hidden and hard to get to, but it is back there. We're going to verify our repair here, and if you look at our wiring diagram, the power comes from the fuse, goes down to that cooling fan dropping resistor, and then the power goes to the motor. So we're going to check it here. We've got ground on one side, we have nothing on the other side, but now we're going to command it on with the computer with the scan tool. There's a little bit of a delay, and then it comes on. So now we know that we're getting power through that dropping resistor to the motor. So anytime you're trying to track down an electrical problem, get out your wiring diagram, follow it. It's a map to how the circuit should run. And just like here, follow your circuit and you can find and fix your problem.
And that is how it's done.